Caitlin Clark is changing the way people talk about basketball. Her bold shot-making, confident style, and non-stop production have pulled in fans, analysts, and even NBA legends who usually don't speak on the WNBA. It's rare to see one player create this kind of mix. Huge respect from supporters and constant debate from critics at the same time. From breaking records to shifting how defenses have to play, Caitlin is helping push women's basketball into a new spotlight. But the rise hasn't been smooth. Some people have doubted her, questioned her impact, and tried to downplay what she's doing. That's why it hit different when major basketball voices started speaking up. When names like Michael Jordan and Larry Bird get involved, the conversation changes, because their opinions carry weight even outside the WNBA world. And what they had to say wasn't small. It was the kind of talk that can shift how the league and the public respond to Caitlin moving forward.
Man, shoot the blood out of the ball. You know what I mean? I never seen anything like it. You know what I mean? And then just how aggressive she is, you know, and not just scoring the basketball, getting her teammates involved as well. I think she's so great for the game. You know what I mean? It was a pleasure watching her, and I just think down the road she's going to only get better.
With all the attention around Caitlin Clark, the story reached a new level when Michael Jordan reportedly shared his view. In this telling, Jordan didn't just compliment her talent. He framed her as a major reason the game is growing. The message was simple. The league has benefited from Caitlin's presence, and it needs to understand what that really means. Then he went even further and pointed at officiating. The claim is that he believed Caitlin has been treated unfairly by referees, and that the league should take the issue seriously. The point behind those words is bigger than one player. If a star is bringing new eyes and new money to the sport, the league has a responsibility to protect the product, not let it turn into a mess of inconsistent calls and avoidable controversy. Whether you agree or not, it's not normal to hear the greatest player ever step in like that. And when someone with Jordan's status speaks up, it sends a signal. Caitlin isn't just another rookie story, she's a central figure in where the sport is heading.
And the thing I love about her, she never says a word. And now, when I watch her, two things I like. She's playing much faster.
Yeah.
Much faster. She was playing too slow the first half of the season.
I think she was tired. I think she was banged up from the college season.
They didn't even give her the understanding, like, you girls been ready for the WNBA season. Y'all been working out on the no. She came straight out of college.
Allen Iverson is another name that people connect to Caitlin for a reason. Iverson changed the NBA without looking like the perfect athlete on paper, and Caitlin is doing something similar in the WNBA. Both became national stars before they even turned pro, and both walked into their leagues with huge pressure from day one. Iverson earned respect through skill, toughness, and a style that couldn't be ignored. His crossover and fearless scoring attitude didn't just win games, it influenced how players everywhere approached ball handling and one-on-one play. In the same way, Caitlin is becoming the player young girls want to copy. Not because she's the biggest or strongest, but because she plays brave, thinks fast, and takes shots other players don't even try. In this narrative, Iverson recognizes something familiar in her mindset, the willingness to carry weight, take heat, and still keep coming. And when a legend like Iverson says she's special, it adds another layer to her rise because it suggests her impact isn't only hype, it's something players who lived it can actually see.
Why do you think people love Caitlin Clark, besides her skills?
She can shoot threes from logo.
We never seen that before. That's my point. Steph Curry, a little kid. Like Steph Curry, I love, you know why I love Steph Curry? Because I've never seen that before. I've never seen that before. I've seen it a little bit in Mahmoud Abdul-Roh, but I've never seen a guy consistently come down. And if you look at, like if you saw Steph on the street, he ain't got the LeBron muscles. He's not 6'9", he's 6'10". He look like a perfect, normally office guy.
Yeah.
He's doing stuff that people never seen before. She's doing stuff we've never seen before. Never seen nobody do that on a consistent basis.
Iverson knows what it means to be the entire engine of an offense, and that's why his praise of Caitlin centers on responsibility as much as talent. At his peak, he had to create scoring almost every night, and the pressure was constant. The idea is that Caitlin is dealing with a similar burden early in her career. Teams know she's the threat, and they still can't fully stop her. He highlighted her aggressive approach, because a go-to scorer has to want those moments, not hide from them. But he also pointed out what separates great scorers from true legends: playmaking. Caitlin doesn't just score, she sees the floor, creates for teammates, and changes the game with decision-making. That's why people call players like this floor raisers. They don't just perform, they lift the entire team's level. Iverson believes Caitlin will keep growing into that role, and the bigger challenge becomes the team around her. If Indiana can build properly, her ceiling rises even more. Because history shows it's hard to carry alone forever, and even the most talented stars need the right pieces to turn greatness into real winning.
Caitlin is the most popular WNBA player, but she's not the best at this time. Just like Larry and I were not the best when we entered the league. We became the best later on by our play. Caitlin still has to play great to become the best WNBA player.
Charles Barkley's attention on Caitlin is important for a different reason. Barkley isn't just a Hall of Fame player. He's been one of the loudest, most visible voices in sports media for decades. He understands pressure, criticism, headlines, and the way fame can twist a story. That's why, in this script, his respect for Caitlin isn't only about what she does on the court. It's about how she handles everything around the game. The interviews, the expectations, the non-stop opinions, the fan reactions. Caitlin moves through it like someone much older. And that's rare. Most young stars struggle with the spotlight even when they're playing well. Caitlin gets hit with pressure and still keeps her focus. Barkley sees that balancing act and treats it like a real skill. Because being a star in 2026 isn't just basketball. It's media, branding, and public behavior every single day. If Caitlin can stay steady while the world pushes and pulls at her, it sets her up for long-term dominance, not just a hot rookie run.
A few of the things that I learned coming from one rookie of the year to another, even though mine was 19 years ago, one of the biggest things after winning Rookie of the Year, because that's a big deal, first of all. That's a huge achievement and you should be proud. But going forward, I think the biggest thing I tried to focus on was getting stronger. I wanted to get stronger, I wanted to get faster, I wanted to be better on defense. But more than anything, I tell you, the biggest people that I leaned on was my family, my support system.
Caitlin's success doesn't come from talent alone. A big part of it is how seriously she works, how she prepares, and how quickly she adjusts. The jump from college to the WNBA is real. More physical defenders, smarter scouting, stronger bodies, and a longer season that breaks players down in ways fans don't always notice. On top of that, Caitlin often gets targeted. Opponents treat her like the main mission, and every night can feel like a test. What surprised many people is that she hasn't folded under that pressure. She's taken contact, absorbed tough defense, and kept improving during the season instead of wearing down. That kind of growth suggests discipline, not just skill. And it also changes the early narrative some people had, that she was only a shooter without the physical tools to survive. Instead, she's shown she can take hits, keep her balance, and keep producing. In a league where toughness matters, that's a major reason her impact is getting harder to dismiss.
What you did this past season was crazy. Most points by a rookie in WNBA history, most assists by a rookie in WNBA history, 3-time Eastern Conference Player of the Week, 4-time WNBA Rookie of the Month. I could go on and on, so shout out to you, Caitlin. It's been amazing to watch you hoop day in and day out, and not just to see the behind the back going left threes from deep, but more so just to see the passion and the joy that you play with, and to see the way that you make your teammates better. So I just want to say congratulations.
Shaquille O'Neal's comments add another layer because Shaq knows dominance in a way few athletes ever will. Even though he was built like a force of nature, he's also praised players who dominate with skill instead of size, like Steph Curry. That's why the comparison matters when he talks about Caitlin. In this script, Shaq openly respected Caitlin even while appearing in spaces tied to her rival Angel Reese. He praised what Caitlin does on the court and framed it as something that changes a league, not just a scoreboard. The idea is that Caitlin's range and confidence create a type of excitement that brings new fans in, the same way Curry did for the NBA. Shaq's point is simple. Leagues grow when players create a new reason to watch. And Caitlin's shooting, pace, and playmaking have given the WNBA a new kind of highlight energy that people can't ignore.
I know a lot of people been hating on Caitlin.
This is what happens to a rookie.
Yeah.
This is what happens to a rookie. This is what happens to the marquee player.
Shaq also made it clear that Caitlin is doing things most WNBA players can't do, and even her competitors have had to admit that. But the script points out something important. Sometimes people try to minimize greatness by acting like it's just one skill. Like saying she only shoots deep threes. The truth is, hitting shots from that distance consistently is not normal. It takes years of repetition, confidence, and skill under pressure. And it changes the court because defenses have to guard space they're not used to guarding. That's why Shaq's respect hits hard. He sees the way her shooting pulls fans in and forces the league to adjust. The script also hints that this praise indirectly challenges Angel Reese's public stance that Caitlyn isn't the main driver of the league's new popularity. Whether that's jealousy or just rivalry talk, the fact remains, Caitlyn's style is a magnet. And Shaq is basically saying the league should treat that like a gift, not like something to argue about. The Caitlyn Clark and Angel Reese rivalry has become one of the biggest engines of attention in women's basketball, and the script connects it to an old NBA reality. There was a time when the NBA struggled to attract viewers the way it does now. Then two generational names showed up and changed everything: Magic Johnson and Larry Bird. Their rivalry wasn't just a sports story, it became a national event, and the league grew because people felt they had to watch. The script argues women's basketball is in a similar moment. The women's NCAA tournament recently broke viewership records, and a lot of that energy carried straight into the WNBA because Caitlyn and Angel arrived at the same time. That created a built-in storyline that casual fans can understand instantly. Two stars, two styles, one spotlight. It's also why people keep making the Magic and Bird comparison. And the script says even Magic Johnson himself has leaned into that idea, with a belief that Caitlyn has the potential to become one of the greatest players the league has ever seen. Magic Johnson's support matters because he's not just a legend. He's someone who believes in building the sport as a business and a culture. He's been connected to the WNBA through ownership and public support, and the script paints him as someone who always believed the league could grow into something massive. Now, in his view, that growth is finally speeding up, and the Caitlyn versus Angel rivalry is a big reason why. He compares it to the era he lived through, when he and Bird didn't just play great basketball, they changed how teams played, how fans watched, and how money flowed into the league. The script suggests Caitlyn could have that kind of influence in the WNBA because her skill level pushes the standard upward. When a new star forces everyone else to train differently, defend differently, and design offenses differently, that's when a sport evolves. The script then sets up the next big point: Larry Bird's opinion. Bird represents a certain type of basketball respect: quiet, intense, and hard to impress. And if someone like Bird is high on Caitlyn, it makes the new era argument feel even stronger, because Bird doesn't hand out praise just because something is trending.